You are listening to I Am Refocused Radio with your host, Shemaiah Reed. This show is designed to inspire you to live your purpose and regain your focus. And now, here's your host, Shemaiah Reed.
Welcome back to I Am Refocused Radio. We are here once again, and we have another show and a returning guest. We have Dr. Shemaiah McAllister. She is someone you need to know. If you missed the other show, you need to go check that out, but make sure you check this out because it's dropping right before Valentine. So if you don't have a Valentine's present, this might be the one that you can save that situation and make it better. Yeah, because what she's going to bring to us is a topic that I think a lot of people will appreciate. It is going to be focused on the most important relationship you're in is with your nervous system. Valentine's Day reframed. It's not just about love. It's about regulation. We are going to get all about that business right here, right now with Dr. Shemaiah. I know you didn't expect that type of introduction, but I say once you're on the show, your family, so don't expect the whole formal, like fireworks and crazy organized stuff. I'm going to just do off the cuff because that's how we do on Refocused Radio. How you doing?
I'm fantastic, and it's such a pleasure to be back with you.
I appreciate you being on. I know that we talked a little bit about adjusted reality and all that great stuff. People can give a copy of the book and get all that great stuff that you're doing, but we're turning the page and zooming in on relationship. So for us, set the tone. Valentine's Day is approaching faster than ice on lava. So you can hint, I have my corny jokes today, so you know it's Friday, but kind of help us digest this topic today.
Well, I love the ice on lava. So that we're going to start there is when you want to heat up, you really want to be the best you. And as we start to formulate looking into Valentine's Day, some of you are single out there and bless your heart. That's great because now you're going to have an opportunity to really dive deep into Valentine's Day in my topic, adjusted reality, because it's not about the person that you're loving, it's the person you love, and that should be you first. And I know that may sound selfish to a few out there, but I'm actually thinking as I build out so much of the energy and excitement around adjusted reality is that people get energized when they feel good. And that one feel good piece is it's really not about the love languages or the emotional quotient. It's really about you and the physical you that you are in right now.
You describe the nervous system as the body's junction box. Why do you believe most people misunderstand its influence on their daily health and longevity?
You think about operating systems because we all got new phones and we have to upgrade and keep upgrading. I think one of the best operating systems that's ever been built on Earth today, and I have yet to see even artificial intelligence as of this time on this day, be better than what we have right now. That operating system, the brain that we have, actually updates every night we go to bed. And you can't think of a better operating system that can actually control not only environment, external and internal, but also contemplate and move into the future. And that's why I think as we go into Valentine's Day, think of the future that you have when you have an optimized system. That junction box that we own, that ability to connect, well, it only connects if you're really taking care of it. And that's where I think people fall short is they take it for granted. And like any relationship, when you start taking it for granted, guess what? The other person or thing starts to feel neglected. And then it starts to really dysregulate. And that ends up to always be bad.
People don't always appreciate what they have until it's gone. Touch on that because it's easy to just be on the show and say all the great things and, yeah, it's so great. But soon as this mic turns off, life happens. Traffic jam. You didn't expect it. Man, it is the time and place where it usually never, ever happens. But touch on that because when we don't appreciate what we have, we kind of overlook how good it's been to us. And then one day is boom. We missed the opportunity to appreciate, and the opportunity is gone. It's no longer there. And if it's there, it's probably sour because you messed it up so many times. It's like, wow, you really you Captain Obvious, man, you really messed it up because you missed this boat.
You're so right. You don't reflect. Now I'm gonna take us on a gender journey here for just a moment. I'm gonna speak to the men. Often Valentine's Day is really formulated around the women, but for today, in an adjusted reality way, I'm gonna focus on the men. And here's what I've learned on a general basis with men is they don't care until it's really broken, like really broken. Like I don't really want to pay attention to this until it's really bad. So that's why I just did an article it's a Forbes article. It's called The SOS for Men. And it's the science of sex, underlying the science of sex for an adjusted reality. And what I really wanted people to understand is, do you really want to wait until your intimacy level totally falls apart because you didn't take care of the number one operating machine that you have? And all of a sudden your hormone balance is off, you're totally in chronic stress, and you're wondering why you're having intimacy issues and then end up with erectile dysfunction. And I know men don't like hearing those two letters, ED, erectile dysfunction is real. And that's why I called it the SOS, because at some level, the beauty of Valentine's Day is to connect, is to be able to have these beautiful relationships that we can step into and really bond with that person. Well, you can't do that, gentlemen, if you're letting yourself fall apart. You love your Ferrari, you're going to tune up your Ferrari. You want to be fast paced, you want to hit the basketball court full bore. Well, guess what? You don't walk in with your dress shoes on. So why are you doing the same thing with your Valentine? You need to make sure that you're regulating your system in a way that makes sense. And that's why I recommend highly a healthcare professional who's really looking at you as a whole being, and you're getting the care that you need when you need it. But you're not waiting for it to start failing before you get in and get care that can be proactive rather than the unfortunate, which is reactive. And that's how Valentine's goes. Valentine's Day, if it's reactive and you forgot or you didn't do what you wanted to do, that turns into a full-on adjusted reality mess.
Touch on this too. There is what they call good stress and not good stress. I would think that bad stress is stress that you kind of, decided I'm not going to do maintenance on the car for a good while. And I'm going to pray that I don't have any damage. Wink, wink. Because, neglecting responsibility will catch up sooner or later.
100%. And so you think of the nervous system, it's called the central nervous system for an exact reason. It has to be centralized so it can protect. If you're thinking about, you get hit from the left or hit from the right, there's the middle. The middle of your body is the most protected of your body, which makes sense why the nervous system is centralized. But you're talking about bad stress. That's the stress that tends to increase your cortisol levels. And we all know what stress levels look like. Your heart rate rises, you start sweating. It's that fight or flight mentality. And many of us have these very special monitoring systems like an Oura Ring or an Apple Watch. And the beauty of it is it's monitoring the system, but that's just monitoring the system. You have to be the operator to say, okay, my cortisol level's up, my heart rate variability is down, I got low libido, and I'm asking myself why. I'm seriously emotionally dysregulated. I want to bark at someone who just says hi to me, and I can't sleep. Now you're asking yourself, okay, that's the bad stress that we're in right now. And now you got to figure out, how am I going to go back to that state of alignment so that I can be in harmony with myself, which is going to take some lifestyle choices, which is why adjusted reality is one of those love choices. It's a love first for me in my lifestyle choices, in my alignment, and then the love for someone I care about and want them to have the best too.
A funny visual of someone who's out of alignment and they're just having a bad day. You want a funny visual? Okay, here you go. Even if you didn't ask for it, I'm going to give you one. Imagine you're walking past the driveway to your car. You can't see the web, but the spider web caught you. And you, no matter what you do, you're fighting that web to get off of you. That's bad stress. Because when you
That's
get to
true.
the point where you neglected all the opportunities to look at that light, warning light cutting off, Mayday. Hey, hold up. Hey, pump the brakes. You might want to check this out, man. Because as soon as you hit that spider web, man, you just gonna be walking a hot mess. That's bad stress, man. It's like self-inflicted wounds. Like you really could have prevented this from happening. But we're human. We're not that smart. And the ones who say they're smart, yeah, let's keep watching them, see how smart they are.
So true. And it's such a beautiful analogy because everybody can feel the sticky spider web. Like you can feel it on your face and it just freaks you out. I think people need to have those kind of wake up calls in life. It's like freak yourself out enough that you recognize the gift you have now before your face and your eyes are covered with that sticky, slimy spider web. And and now you have that real SOS, which really comes down to am I able to perform, whether in life or in my career or maybe with my kids or my loved one? You know, if you've got a sticky spider web on your face, how good are you really going to perform in life? That's the piece that we're missing is the analogy that makes it real for people is you are only the best you can be, especially when you start to pay attention to some of the things that trigger you. Like, why am I so upset about this? And then you can walk it back a little bit. And physical trauma and emotional trauma all come together in the nervous system. There isn't one way to say, oh, well, that's not important. That's just mental problems. I'm like, loneliness is actually gone up in the last several years. And the Surgeon General actually said that up to 50% of us are feeling that serious loneliness. And the worst part is it's Gen Z, 18 to 25, that it's at the highest level of loneliness. This loneliness factor plays a part in your body. It plays a part in how you're sleeping. If you're lonely, it plays a part in how you're connecting with people in your career. And so networking and being vital means that you have to have a good functioning nervous system. And it starts with what are you doing in your lifestyle options? What is your adjusted reality moment?
Excuse me, I'm not trying to be funny on this show, but I just can't help it. My thoughts just kind of moonwalk to this side of the room, so I'm gonna go with it because I think it's hilarious. When you understand that, you know how you grew up and you would scrape your knee.
Yep.
What did your mom do?
She's
Kiss and
coming
make it,
over. That's right. She's coming over to
kiss
give
you to
you
make it
love.
feel better.
Yep.
But the funny part about life is you gotta let that thing heal. Because if you keep messing with that Band-Aid, you trying to check and see this thing, excuse the visual, trying to scab up, you don't let that process go through its process and you keep like picking at it and all that, you're going to have a scar. Yeah. Unless you'd already had a bad, situation that you had to go to the hospital or something. But my point is, when you scrape your knee as a kid, we know that mom's kiss to make it feel better. I mean, your dad just saying, man, get up, man. Walk it off. But my point is the process of healing. You got to let it take its course. Because if you keep messing with it and keep picking at it, you're delaying that process of healing.
That's a really important point because so many of us are so impatient. They want everything right now. And part of the healing process and part of the building process to our optimal health is it takes time. It's not one chiropractic adjustment and I'm done for life. It's not one gym membership and one day you go in on a Friday and you're like, wow, look at how buffed I am. I'm so beautiful. I'm perfect. It's not one and done. It never is because life really is the journey that we want to go on. And if you don't take the time and you don't take the energy and attention, you're going to suffer down the road. And what does that look like? And I'm often reminded that there is a moment where famous poets would come out. Robert Frost, when you come down to where two roads come together, they diverge into the woods, and you took the road less traveled because that is the one that made all the difference. What was the road that you took and why did you take it? Because the healing proposition is I took the road that led me to the best outcome I wanted, not the best outcome that the guy behind me wanted. And in healing, it's the same perspective. Will you take the best road? Because everyone can take a pill. But will everyone think about the adverse events that could come when it takes time to heal? So it might be more time consuming to take care of the pain through holistic means. But at the end of the day, are you getting to the cause of the problem versus treating a symptom? And that is a moment of reflection when you start peeling back the band aid and all of a sudden you gave it enough time and voila, you didn't even know you're injured.
And once again, listen, I Am Refocused Radio, watching us online, talking to our special guest today, returning guest, Dr. Shemaiah McAllister. And we're talking about the topic, the most important relationship you're in is with your nervous system. Valentine's Day reframed, it's not just about love, it's about regulation. So, my next question, if someone's watching this, listening to this, and they say, well, I still feel like I get inflamed. I still feel like I'm constantly fatigued. What are the early warning signs that their nervous system is overwhelmed?
Dysregulation starts with the obvious. Number one, it's hard to concentrate. You know when you feel overwhelmed, you're not thinking clearly, and your heart rate goes up because what happens when you can't think clearly is you tend to work harder doing the simple things. So you're more fatigued. Maybe you need, instead of your regular 2 cups of coffee, you're now at 5 and you're still not getting the jiggy. Okay? You gotta be able to recognize you're different. You're an actual thumbprint, and no 2 thumbprints are alike. So if one coffee would make me go over the moon and you could drink 4 and now you're at 7, well, guess what? Things are not looking good. So what we're really looking at is small, subtle moments in your life. The only person who knows you is you. You have 100% the agency to really build up or start breaking apart. And the choice can be very simple. It can be, I gave myself a special treat. I went to bed a little earlier and I slept a little better and I woke up a little more refreshed. Because when you start treating your body just a little bit better, just a little teeny bit better every day, instead of doing something that, I probably shouldn't have the donut with my coffee this morning. Instead, I'm going to replace it with a smoothie drink with an extra shot of protein in it. Hey, all of a sudden I'm starting to feel better. You also put into that your shutdown mode. Each and every one of us has a different button that gets pushed. And there's a level where you're just done. And you feel like you're just going to walk away. And everybody in this audience right now has probably had a career where you're like, today's the day, I'm done. I never want people to get to that place. I want them to start really paying attention to the steps that got them there. And we call that the vagal tone. That's the vagus nerve, which was responsible for tremendous things in your body, and it's becoming more and more aware. It's a nerve that as soon as you tap into it and you understand it, now you're starting to talk love, because now you're starting to have a harmonious relationship with your body. You're sleeping well, you're eating well, you're content with some of the choices that you're making. You could even go out and take a walk and not have your mind go what we call monkey brain. You can't even have a single thought. It's like fired up and on 16 channels all at once. This is a moment where we call in the parasympathetics to say, tone it down, release the cortisol, the stress hormone, have our emotions be able to be set so that we can have a good, honest discussion of what we want in our lives. And that, I think, as we move into a new and better me, it becomes, I'm balanced, I feel happy, and life is on fire. And that's, I think, where it has to be an individual choice to recognize, am I fired up or am I fired out?
People that I've come across who seem to be successful, because we really don't know, we're not in their mind or their personal life. They seem like they have it all together because we're on the outside looking in. But we don't know the chapters that they were in where they didn't have it all together. We don't know what it took for them to wake up and say, you know what, I actually need to do X, Y, Z in order to get these type of results. Because you can never predict a absolute result, but we can predict our decision. A decision made is a decision buried. We can never undo it. And when we understand that, man, it's like life doesn't get more complicated. It gets more simple. I mean, think about it. When people get older, what's the first thing you trying to do? You trying to chill.
Mm-hmm.
All that whipping and running in your young days, no. You're saying no to a lot of things because, like, no, I want to chill. I want some time for me, myself, and I. That's the 3 people I want to talk to today. Because the more, I mean, maybe it's the opposite for someone else. Maybe they like being part of life. But my point is, you have to make those decisions and stick with them. So you have to ask yourself, what am I doing? Is it helping? Is it hurting? Is the stove hot or is it cold? If it's hot, take your hand off the stove. It's not rocket science. It's like, at a certain point, it's common sense.
And that is why it's not common. And then I think you nailed it, is you can notice that the stove is hot. The question now is, you can know better. The question really is, will you do better? And one part of that, I love that you brought up the aging adult, is what do they really do? They see meaning and purpose in being connected with others that are around them. And you will also see that the people who chose wisely previously end up choosing even better as they get older. Like, look at the people that are really anxious and wigging out right now. Posture, that's a huge indicator. When you look at the love for yourself, can show just in one thing. What does your posture look like? Because your brain is telling your body how you're feeling.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that again because it's really important. Your brain is telling your body how you're feeling. So those muscle activation patterns, when you watch a perfect athlete, like a really good basketball player who's activating all the right patterns in their muscles, it's like a beautiful symphony. Everything's coming together, and it's just wonderful to watch. You watch someone who is fully out of sync, their breathing is off, their balance is off, their head is down, they've probably gained a bunch of weight, their coloring in their skin is down. I mean, that, when it comes back down to what you just said, when you said, is the stove hot? Look in the mirror. That's your stove right now. Are you hot? Like, be honest with yourself, because your Valentine's wants you to be hot. And if your Valentine's Day is you, bless your heart, you are hot. And you need to figure out what's going to make you hotter. Take your hand off the stove, make some really good choices. And all of a sudden, one small thing can lead to another change and another change. And before you know it, best Valentine's Day ever, because you took care of you.
Sequence of events is what I'm thinking right now. And that is, when you get up in the morning, what's the first thing you do? Do you make your bed? Do you hop in the shower and get ready and brush your teeth? What I'm saying is, you set the tone in the first 2 hours of the day. If you accomplish one thing, I'm stealing from the famous speech, but if you accomplish one thing, make up your bed, that just triggers something in the person. Because if you are committed to that task, that means you be committed to any task that come your way. Even if you fail, at least you started the day by setting the tone. So all this that we're saying with Valentine's Day and loving yourself and the nervous system, all that stuff, you have to set the tone. No one can force you to set the tone. It's like, we don't go to the basketball game and famous so-and-so last name, we don't say anything for them to set the tone. No, we're paying to see them. They already in the game locked in. They setting the tone regardless. That's why they breaking records. That's why they getting championships. That's why they getting MVPs. That's why they doing all this stuff, because they locked in. So are we locked in? That's the question to ask. If you're not, then find out why. What is causing you to be out of line? What is causing you to be out of whack? What is causing you to miss your step? Maybe you miss a step because you don't know how to step. And if that's the case, you better figure that out. And you better find someone who's smart and surround yourself with better people who are going to challenge you, because with no challenge, there's no progress. With no progress, there's stagnant. And when it's stagnant, the heart is just going to flatline.
So important, because you mentioned, do you know your own step? And one of the pieces, like just taking it to a human biology piece, is if you injure your ankle, there are 3 parts to gait, which is first your heel has to come down, and then it drops. The full flat of the foot is called mid stance, and then you have to toe off. If your ankle is really injured, you can't toe off. It's too painful. And so you start to get really in tune with your body. And alignment is not something we create, it's something that we remove when we have interference, so that we can allow the healing to come in. And that's I think what the beautiful part is you recognize the places in your life where you do need to look at, what tone am I setting? Is it balanced? And if it's not, how do I get it? I love your analogy of waking up the first thing in the morning and making your bed. Why? You're so right. You're setting the tone for the day. And if you can do the same thing for your body, where you start looking at your uneven loads that you carry, maybe it's your backpack, maybe it's your wallet you always put in the left side pocket and you sit on it all day long. How are you going to adapt so that you're stronger, you're more agile, and you're able to recover faster? When you hit the wall, instead of it taking you 3 days to recover, it takes you an hour. You get a bad day, you don't stress over it for the next 2 weeks. You have to be uh, energetic efficient, I think is a good word, where you can start to distribute the forces that act upon you more evenly. And you need a healthcare provider that walks with you along the journey, and you need to have a family or a structured network that keep you in alignment, so that the loads are in balance and you have set your tone, you recognize when it's off.
There's a saying that for every second that you're unhappy, you lose 60 seconds of happiness.
Uh-huh.
And if anybody could take anything from this episode, when you think about Valentine's Day, I mean, what's the symbol that everybody sees on Valentine's Day? A heart. Love starts with the person who wants love. Only way things get better is you get better. No one goes to, I like keep using sports analogies, but no one goes pay their hard-earned money at a basketball game just to see the team who don't like playing. What? No one's going to invest in a business deal when the person doesn't do good business. It's not about how big a person is, it's how big their heart is. That's the difference. Maybe your heart is cold and charcoal. We need to fix that, because life is too short to have a small heart. Maybe the message too is, the bigger your heart, the better your life. And I want to make a disclaimer, because I know there are some things that happen in life that ain't easy. I'm not saying that you can be rich or anything like that. What I'm saying is your perspective on life changes. Your outlook on life changes. Your gratitude on what you have changes. That's what I mean by having a big heart. Because if you lose 60 seconds of being unhappy, that's unfortunate.
That is a beautiful way in your audience, is to really start to recognize that, to build a love that is deep, is to really live gratefully. And I think the greatest gift you have, personal opinion as a doctor of chiropractic, is the gift that you own right now, that you came into this world with, and that you're going to leave this world with. And that is the mainframe. That is the master operating system. And it's a system that needs the love, the steady presence, and the maintenance that's going to help you grow it. Love grows when gratitude is practiced, and the gratitude really is look in the mirror and find all the things that are so beautiful about why you're even listening today, and build it in every way you can. Give the gift of love by loving yourself, and then be able to make lifestyle choices through all your reality and how you're going to adjust it to be the fingerprint that you really are: unique, different, engaged, and networking with other humans that are like you if you're your best self.
Once again, listen on Refocused Radio and watching us online, talking to our guest, Dr. Shemaiah McAllister, and been talking about the most important relationship you're in is with your nervous system. And Valentine's Day reframed, it's not just about love, it's about regulation. We've been talking about all that, but you also need to get a copy of the book. She has Adjusted Reality. And for those who need to know where you are on the World Wide Web, where can they find you online?
You can find me on Instagram and Facebook, Dr. Shemaiah McAllister, and our website that gets people a doctor of chiropractic, because many are like, where do I even start? We've got a GPS coordinate for you. It's f4cp.org/find a doctor. Today's the day where you find that person who can help you find greater love. Find greater love for yourself, which will end up being a bigger network of love for you when you're well-balanced and ready to take on the world.
Like I always want to say to Dr. McAllister, thank you for your time.
Thank you.